Very good. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Andrea.
Andrea. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The International Network of Universities, EU-CUNET, held in Bucharest its first workshop. The purpose of the meeting was to draw up a joint declaration of the future in higher education in 2020, the Bologna system. 20 children were appointed from around the world, aged between 13 and 15 years old, for delegates to work with the children of the Bucharest University. The activity was part of the project aimed at learning SIS Catalyst, practical knowledge from early age, as children have the right to be heard because they have an important role in the development of science and society. The Children's University is a multidisciplinary space where children have the opportunity to enter and accommodate prematurely to the academia environment. In Romania, the Children's University has played a significant role this year, in April 2012. The Children's University in Romania organized the We Are the Future event, where 20 children from around Europe and beyond, to Kenya, Egypt or India, came to discuss in a workshop their future as students. It is an honor for us to be able to organize such an important event in our country. We have prepared this event for 3 years now, since the Children's University of Romania was founded. We were happy to have with us and support us the Bucharest University and the University of Agricultural Sciences and also the Village Museum. Our partners stood side by side and have supported us in a true sense. Student volunteers helped us tremendously, as without their work we wouldn't have been able to organize this event.
In Vienna, I'm part of Kinderbüro, which translates to Children's Office of the University of Vienna. And we started out with Children's University, and now it's a large number of different projects that we are doing, all addressed at children. So children are our target group. Some are childcare, for example, for university people mainly, and also, as I said, like science and society and communication projects like Children's University, like other projects where we approach children in rural areas, for example, with science activities. The real purpose of it is to demonstrate and to show how it's possible to listen to children, because we think that listening to children is a very important part when it comes to the development of new ideas in education and especially in higher education. And so what we really want to do is to find ways to include children and young people into this dialogue between the science world and the society.
We work in an association where we offer kids from underprivileged areas the opportunity to have internships in scientific labs of research, and they can participate in a science festival during summer where they make experiences about funny topics like attraction in sciences. It's very necessary to open the voices of children so ministers can listen to them, and also it's interesting for the children so they get to know what the ministers think and what they want for their future.
In my university and across the UK and beyond, universities are working with young people in primary schools because we have to sow the seeds that university is a choice for them from a very early age. We work with students because, like in Liverpool, we've got 22 senior managers, but we've got 22,000 students. So it's really important that we work with students. And we can work with students in 3 ways. We can pay them if we've got the money. We don't always have that. We can do it as part of the curriculum so that the students get credit for working with children, and that's a very important way, and that's a growing way. Or we can ask students to volunteer. So there's 3 ways, and the European Students' Union is one of our partners, and we're working with them to encourage universities across not just Europe but the world to work with students because they are the way that we can reach the young people that we need to. We work in Liverpool with the schools. So we work in primary schools and we have a guide. She's called Professor Fluffy. She's purple and she's small and she's fun because we have to make this fun. Children are in schools and a lot of children find school very boring. They don't know why they're at schools. So everything we do is fun. And we tell them, we believe in your dreams. So we do a lot of work with road shows where we go into the schools. We've got big presentations. We do science experiments because they're fun. We have to find a way to make our children happy. And to do that, we have to believe in their dreams. And there's lots of ways of doing that.
Je travaille avec des enfants donc sur le projet 6 Catalyst qui nous a amené aujourd'hui sur l'événement We Are the Future. Et on travaille avec des jeunes qui sont au lycée. Donc ils ont entre 14 et 17 ans, sur des projets de sciences, d'activités scientifiques. C'est un projet qui pour moi est très important et c'est vrai qu'avoir cette chance de donner la parole aux jeunes, de leur donner un rôle important dans la société et que leur parole soit prise en compte, pour moi c'est vraiment essentiel, effectivement.
The meeting in Bucharest was due to address the European education ministers who attended the Bologna's Process Ministerial Conference of 2012. This event took place in the House of the Parliament. Children voted democratically and elected 4 representatives of their group and prepared questions for the ministers. But first, they had to identify education issues in their countries.
Some of the universities, which is a shame, are corrupt. And the second problem is the problem of the students. Because in Slovakia, many students want to choose human sciences rather than maths, cybernetics, and so. Because they'll think that if they are a lawyer or psychologist, they'll automatically earn money and be rich. And so we have maybe 1,000 more or 2,000 more lawyers and psychologists we need, and so there are many unemployed people, and on the other side we have a grand lack of people that need to work in cybernetics.
If the country doesn't have a strong economy, it doesn't have a strong education system and places where everyone can get education.
Not all families have money to pay for them children to go to university.
The biggest problem in our country is that many families didn't have money to their children go to university because they aren't free.
I'm very shocked that the money is such a big problem because in Germany you don't have to pay for the university, and I think that's a good fact.
Is a big map. You may not recognize a map of the world here, but this is India back there, then we go up in Turkey, Romania, Austria, Slovakia, and we go up to the UK until the Brazil more south. And each one pointed out for his own country some elements that is important for education and for access to education. Like, for example, the economic factor. The level of the economy in the UK, in Romania, in India, in Brazil, in Egypt is not the same, and this influences education. Or they stated things for them important, like the fact, for example, that in Brazil only 20% of the universities are public. 80% of the university are private. This is different. So the work today was essentially to exchange differences and the richness of these differences and start thinking about what is the key message that they want to deliver to the Minister of Education. They are indeed very young, but we started this day by saying that they are expert in something. They are the most expert about the future, because the future is there. We are the future, they say. These children here are 20 children that will be students in 2020. They will be the one that will pay the price or gain the benefits from the decisions that will be made in the Bologna process. They've decided 4 people among them that will go to the parliament. what they did is first decide which were the criteria that will define a good delegation. And so they decided that there should be not 100% men or 100% women, gender balance, balance among countries, balance among region of the world, so not all European. And so we ended up with a good delegation with 2 boys and 2 girls, ranging from India to Egypt to Romania to Slovakia. And so they all together decided first the rules and then the people that satisfy these rules. Before start working, everybody agreed that we had to listen to each other, not to interrupt, to understand each other, to be kind and polite, to share their view, not to retain information, to respect ideas, opinions, all things that is good to set at the beginning. So everybody agrees on the same principle of working.
The children decided to choose 4 topics: corruption, poverty, differences, and participation. Although they worked long hours, they were very satisfied with the experience exchange.
We could work really well with the young people and we had a great exchange. All of us, we are really different, but most of the time we assume that we are the same. And when you have people from different culture, it's clear that people are different, and then people trying to find out the difference. And I think you can see the interaction of the children and the young people, and even with the ones that they don't speak English, they can interact with each other and are curious about one another.
An opportunity to meet children from different cultures, from 3 different continents and many countries.
How was this useful to you?
Yes, because I managed to make many friends and develop my communication skills in foreign languages.
The first communication exercise made it back to the press conference organized at the Veterinary Medicine University of Bucharest, where they were attended by the Minister of Education in Austria. Academics, rectors and representatives of the Ministry of Education and Research of Romania were all present.
The idea of this catalyst is very simple. Present decisions in education and science are significant for tomorrow's citizens, students and researchers, who are children and young people this time. So these students here, these young people are your future students and your future researchers. And you have the chance to listen to them and to listen to their ideas. You have the chance to meet our 20 delegates, young delegates. You see, they come from all over the world to Romania. These young delegates are prepared to be your advisors. Their message is very clear, and you are invited to join these sessions together with the children.
I'm listening.
There is corruption in admissions. Why?
Corruption and?
Admissions. In admissions.
In admissions. Corruption is a general problem of the world, of course, in all institutions. There's a part of corruption. We always have to search for solutions against corruption and to give the young people a fair chance to get into a university.
All universities in UK have so higher fees.
Yeah, I know, but how come that in some countries it's free and some it is expensive?
Okay, being in the European Union doesn't mean we have the same laws. This is very important. We can choose to have a national law. We have something like a great system of laws, legally system, let's say it like this, but every country has own system, educational system, so they can choose to have high fees or low fees or no fees at all. It's every country decision.
Why there are so much differences or discrimination in Europe among educational systems?
We have the programs starting 2001, 1999. for the harmonization between the education systems in Europe. For example, the programs like Leonardo da Vinci, like Socrates, like Erasmus, concern this harmonization and help for this objective. But I know it's not enough. We try to make better.
As you know, Bologna process exists and it's working, and we are trying hard to unify all the education systems. But unfortunately, at the same level of the different ministries of education, we have some problems related to recognizing of documents, of diplomas, and this is quite a big problem. In this moment in our university, we are trying hard to organize a Erasmus Mundus research program for PhD with different countries, but with partners from Slovakia, from Poland, for instance, from Japan, from USA. But we have big problems related to the situation of diplomas. They will get the diploma. That diploma will not be recognized by the other countries. This is the problem.
Advice and proposals of the children were taken into account by the guests at the conference.
Multiculturalitatea este un motiv foarte important pentru care aceste proiecte trebuie susținute. Nu singurul, dar este un motiv extrem de important.
Cum vi s-au părut întrebările lor?
Foarte serioase. Mă așteptam să fie serioase, profunde, dar trebuie să vă spun că mi-au depășit așteptările. Iar ceea ce le-am spus, că suntem profesori, dar avem multe de învățat de la copii, este perfect adevărat.
The children or the young people are of course the future of Europe and the future of our countries, because of the future for the universities and for the science and research there. And so we have to engage them very early and to interest them for our issues.
How you support them in Austria?
I was a teacher of the Children's University in Austria. I taught Greek mythology. The idea to involve children into universities, I think it's an Austrian idea. Maybe it's even an idea of my own university, of the University of Innsbruck. 10 years ago, we invented this format to interest and to engage children into the universities and to let them participate at the research, on the research and science in the universities. And now this idea, I see, is spread around Europe and maybe around the world, and I am proud of this fact.
The 4 children were appointed to a ministerial conference where they talked to several ministers of education or their representatives.
I wanted to present them the ideas of the group, what we've discussed for 2 days on workshops. For example, some idea was that ministers just make the laws and don't know what the laws can do in practice. So someone wanted ministers to go to the school to know, incognito, to know what their laws really do in practice, for real. There was also another idea that before the poverty and discrimination, corruption, because those are maybe bigger problems that we can realize on the universities in many developed countries. For example, in Germany, you have the university for free. But in England, you have to pay tremendous money. In Slovakia, there are good universities, but none of them is respected in the foreign countries.
In India, education system is good, but not better, because courses have in India, many activities have in India, but poverty is very bad, and you know India is the
1.2 population in India and going in school in university, but not more because poverty is main fact. They can't pay any big amount, any money. So
You are going in a public school or in a private one?
Public school.
Two important questions of your groups.
The two most important questions were the questions of public schools and private schools, the big difference between them. In some countries, not in many, I think in some countries there is no big difference, but in many countries there is a very big gap. So there must be change. And we had some questions about corruption and how we can fight it. And
corruption and
poverty.
Differences.
Yeah.
I am delighted to work with children from different countries. We also had the opportunity to learn about the places where they came from and how different we are as a matter of fact. However, we found a common ground. We want to change something in the future and we really do care.
They were able to meet some of the authorities here, with also some frustrations because they were not able to attend some of the press events, but also with some satisfactions because they could engage in real conversations with head of delegation from Germany, Austria, Palestine, and many others.
And what are the problems in conclusion? Or
the problems is that sometimes it takes a little effort to listen to young people. We are not used to this type of interactions. The rules of the interactions are different, but whenever you are able to engage in a dialogue with a teenager, with a young person, it can be incredibly satisfactory. And we have seen it in the eyes of the ministers and of the head of delegations that we met here. At first they are a bit surprised, and then when they see that there is deep thinking in what they are listening, then you see their eyes shine and you see, okay, there is something there I can listen, I can take home. Of course, it's not a political decision, it's not a direct advice for a policy making. It is ideas, understanding that we are building the future for them, not for us. The motto of our program is children can be change agents. And I think here we saw that little by little, but this is possible.
The children were impressed. It was also an occasion for them to visit the Romanian Parliament House.
When I first came to this country, when I saw this parliament from outside, I was amazed that I did wonder that one day I will enter this, and I was selected from the 4 people who will attend this conference. And it was in that parliament, that big building, so when I entered I was impressed by that.
I'm so excited and I'm not believe. Right now I'm in Parliament House. I'm so excited.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Why?
Because look, decoration.
Do you like in Romania? Do you like the House of the Parliament?
Yes, people are very friendly, and I've never seen something so gorgeous like this House of Parliament.
Why do you like it?
Because it's so amazing that the humans have built this. It is so precise, detailed, wonderful. It's very grand and it's very, how would I say it? I can't believe that this could be built by normal men in 10 years old.
In the short time they had, the delegations went to see some places in Bucharest. They attended a workshop on traditional topics of the Romanian Village Museum and visited the farm of the University of Agriculture Sciences and Veterinary Medicine of Bucharest. We picked a few impressions from the delegates and adults who work in the educational program.
I like downtown Bucharest. I feel that it's an ancient city. And
I've seen very nice buildings, and the Parliament House, I like it so much, and the chandelier, I heard about it 5 times, but I didn't really see it, but I'm gonna see it in the pictures. Yes, I like Romania. I feel that it's something of history. It says a lot of history.
I accompanied my son, and it was a big chance for us to come here because we've never been here, never in Romania, and never here in Bucharest, and we really enjoyed it. It was a new experience, but it was really a good experience.
I liked Romania very much. Bucharest, I've been to Unification Square and so many different churches, old churches, and it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I think for everyone who has visited Bucharest, and it will be a memorable moment for all of us.
And the University Children's Ministerial Meeting was also a good opportunity of getting to know the culture of different countries and nations closer together.
I spoke with children from other countries and I learned more about them and their place, about their school and their method of learning.
Was it difficult for you to speak English?
No, it wasn't hard. I've learned the English language since I was in kindergarten, so it was very easy for me.
How was this international workshop useful to you?
I met people from other countries, also met many different people's customs.
What did you write on the cards that you've made in the studio?
A very simple and yet very difficult message, which should be understood quite easy. Please listen to us too.
Finally, adults who have met with these kids think that it's a good practice to listen to children and to respect them and their opinions.
No, we fly to Frankfurt.